Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Adrielle and I'm currently narrating a story of my life dating back from January 2016. In the previous episode, I started with the beginning of October 2022, and in this episode, I'm just going to breeze through the entire month of October. So here it goes. So y'all, it's the beginning of October. My rent is due. Now, here's the thing, y'all. Like I said in one of my episodes that I had a $6,000 and some change left from my rental assistance. So I was using that to pay my July, August, September's rent. So the money I had left over at the end of September was, I think it was like 1,900 or 2,000, something like that. So that was going to cover my October's rent. And that's exactly what happened. It did cover my October's rent. I think I had a $429 credit balance at the end of me paying my rent. So at this time, I'm like, okay, I've exhausted my 15-month rental assistance. I need to hear back from the program so that they can give me the 3 months I have left. So I'm like, if I don't have that money, there's no way I'm going to pay for my rent. So in the month of October, I said, I'm going to try and get in contact with them and see where that is at. So that was my mindset in the beginning of October. Also, y'all, at this time, I was down to my last $265. Yep. So from my internship, I made $12,000 before tax, but after tax, it was like $8,900. Y'all, that money went towards bills. That went towards places where I was served for like credit card collections and stuff like that. So that money was really going towards other places, and I was left with $265. Thankfully enough, in the first week of October, my mom did send me money. So that was something that I was really thankful for. The second week of October, I remember having a dream. And in the dream, somebody was talking to me about Caitlin. Some random person was talking to me about Caitlin. I think I had did an exam or something like that. The person was telling me how Caitlin is such a good person, yada, yada, yada. So in the dream, I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay, but I was just listening to the person. The next thing you know, this person just started screaming at me that Caitlin is better than you. Caitlin is more smarter than you, just yelling at me. And I'm just looking at this person like, who is this? So that was basically the dream. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting another Caitlin dream, and somebody is just acting weird towards me because they want to defend Caitlin. That was weird. But so that happened. October 12th, I come across a YouTube video talking about judgment. The title was Judgment and Recompense Are Here. So the person was talking about judgment, and in the form of, I think it was like a kingdom spouse type of video. But she was talking about how a woman is being judged by God. And she described the woman. She said she's athletic. She has blonde hair or something like that. Anyways, the girl was basically describing Caitlin. So I was like, okay, Lord, is judgment season here? I don't know. Is judgment here? So at midnight, I was in bed. The lights were off. I was about to go to sleep, or, on my way to sleep. So I'm laying in bed. The next thing you know, y'all, I see a picture of Brandon that popped up in my mind. It was like a picture of him. It just popped up in my mind out of nowhere. So the next thing you know, I started lusting over him. Now, that is something that I did struggle with back in 2020, y'all. So back in 2019 and 2020, I did struggle with lust when it came to Brandon. I was lusting over him. So this particular midnight, his picture pops up, and the next thing you know, I'm lusting over him. And then probably 20 minutes into it, into me lusting over him, basically having sexual fantasies in my head. 20 minutes into that, I started coughing uncontrollably, just coughing. I couldn't sleep until 3 a.m. And looking back, I felt like that was God's way of like, yo, stop it. So the next day, my throat was feeling funny. I had plans with Esther to meet up with her. I canceled it. The next day, October 14, I'm having morning devotion. I'm reading my devotion book, and probably a couple of seconds into me reading it, the Holy Spirit says to me, fast. Like, it was loud. Well, it was loud in my spirit. Like, I heard him, fast. So here's the thing about me, y'all. When I fast, I typically plan my fast. So because this fast that the Holy Spirit wanted me to do wasn't planned, I kind of was being like, oh, I don't know. So, and then again, I was like, maybe I'm making stuff up in my head. So as I was reading the rest of the devotional for that morning, I just felt like the Holy Spirit was squeezing my spirit. Like, imagine a person squeezing water out of a towel, right? That's how that felt in that moment. It felt like the Holy Spirit was squeezing me like a person would squeeze a towel. And I couldn't get it off of my head. So I'm still reading my devotional book. I'm still trying to negotiate with the Holy Spirit. Like, oh, no, maybe I just pray. Maybe I won't fast. Maybe I just pray or listen to worship music. So yeah, I could not even concentrate. I couldn't concentrate reading my devotional book. I couldn't concentrate reading the Bible. So I'm still trying to negotiate. Like, no, I'm not going to fast. Let me just pray. Let me just, listen to worship music. So eventually I get up. I go to the bathroom to brush my teeth. And that pressing to fast was still in me. But I was trying to negotiate. So that's when I remembered. I said, wait, I remember going to sleep at midnight yesterday and a picture of Brandon popped up. I also happened to see a video on YouTube about judgment and recompense. So maybe the reason why the Holy Spirit is pressing on me to fast is because something bad is going to happen to Brandon. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to fast. I'm going to fast. Immediately, I came into agreement with the fast. The Holy Spirit stopped pressing me, and I fasted that entire day. After the fast, I was still kind of confused as to what was going on. And I would say this too. At this time, the Holy Spirit did not give me any explanation as to what was going on or as to why I had to fast. So October 18 comes, y'all. I am calling the rental assistance program, trying to figure out if I'm going to be approved for this 3-month recertification. I remember being told that it's first come, first serve, and that the people that were working on it were volunteers. So they were working like part-time and stuff like that. So I remember telling them, like, how am I going to know if I'm being approved? Because the status of my application says funds dispersed, but that was from the first rental assistance. So how will I know if the recertification went through and those funds are being dispersed as well? So I remember them telling me that they're going to reach out to me via email or something like that, or they were going to reach out to me via email on the website or something like that. So I was like, okay. Now, it is October 23rd, y'all. At this time, I had negative $170.62 in my account. So I needed groceries. I bought groceries with the coins I had left. And when I say coins, I mean I had quarters, I had dimes. I think altogether, I had like probably $10 in quarters and dimes, and I had like a $5 bill. Y'all, I used that money to go to the grocery store and get, I think I got bread, I got eggs. I just tried to stretch what I had. I think I bought some other stuff too, but yeah, y'all, it was hard at this point for me. It was really hard. But God, he saw me through. I got oatmeal as well. So yeah, but God saw me through that situation. Also, I want to mention October 21st, I was being convicted about Caitlin. So at this time, y'all, in the month of October, I had already referred to Caitlin in my head as a demon child. I'm like, yeah, she is demonically possessed. She is a child of the devil, and she is just straight up demonic. I was being convicted by the Lord to forgive her because, y'all, I just couldn't forgive Caitlyn. I couldn't. Um, Forgiving Caitlyn, y'all, it became a journey. A really rough, long, and tiresome journey, y'all. And I won't even lie. I honestly believe I'm still on that journey. Now, I'm not where I used to be. But yeah, y'all, forgiving Caitlyn, it became a long journey. So I made the decision that day that, okay, I'm going to forgive her. And really, it was my devotional book that the Lord used to convict me that morning, because the devotional that day was talking about mercy. I did not show mercy to Caitlyn at all, because I didn't believe she deserved mercy because of the stuff that she did. And later on, y'all, I found out way more crazier stuff that she did. And also Brandon, y'all, I was not merciful to Brandon. I was blaming him for everything. I blamed him for everything I was going through. Now, I will say this, y'all. Even though Brandon's choices was affecting my life, I partook in some of the stuff too. And the reason why I would say that I partook in it was because, y'all, I couldn't control stuff that other people were doing, but I could control my reaction. I could control how I responded. Y'all, I was not responding well to Brandon. With all the information I was finding out, with everything going on, I had a negative mindset towards him in 2022 and even 2023 too. I had a negative mindset towards him, had a negative mindset towards my wilderness, and that was affecting me. So I partook in some of the situations that I was into as well. But yeah, I found it hard to be merciful to him. You know, I did find it very hard, but that's exactly what the Lord wanted me to do. You know, God wanted me to show him mercy because he had never been shown mercy. God wanted me to love him. And that's something I realized at the end, or not at the end, but later on, I realized that God was showing me his love. And God was showing me how to love Brandon. Like, this is how I want you to love him. Now, at the time, I didn't know the importance of God showing me how to love Brandon until later on. But God was very keen on love, patience, mercy, faithfulness, everything. He was very keen on what love was about. And So moving forward, when it came to Caitlyn, I do want to mention this. There were parts of me where I was thinking, is Caitlyn a narcissist? But later on, I was able to discern what was going on with Caitlyn. Caitlyn did have a personality disorder. And from research and from what I gathered at that time, I was able to pinpoint the personality disorder that Caitlyn was suffering from. I do want to mention that. So October 28th, I told myself, if I'm really going to show Brandon mercy and grace and patience and kindness, I really have to overlook his past. And I have to remember, that was what I was telling myself, like, Adriel, you have to remember you are in his future, okay? So the past, it doesn't matter. You are his future. So that was what I was saying to myself. Also, I was served papers as well on October 28th. Another credit card or another collection company was coming after me. So yeah, that was what happened. October 30th, I actually went to church in person. New Church had opened a church in Atlanta. I went in person and yeah, it felt really good. So that was pretty much what happened in the month of October. My finances were drying up. Brandon, talked about him, made the decision that, okay, I really need to show him mercy. The job stuff, I got denied. Yeah, food and water, everything was running low. When it came to my rental situation, I'm like, man, I do not know how I'm going to pay my rent in the month of November. So yeah, y'all, in the next episode, I'm going to talk about the month of November, everything I went through, And yeah, so if you're liking Unlikely Story, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share my videos as well. And until next time, bye.